So starting a career, it can feel like a huge, overwhelming thing, right? Well, today we're going to break the whole thing down into clear, easy to follow steps. We're going to cover it all, from figuring out what you even want to do to building the perfect toolkit to get you hired. Basically, this is your complete guide so you can get all the essentials without having to read a single page of a textbook.
The classic question. We've all been hearing it our whole lives. But as you get older, that question starts to have some real weight to it, doesn't it? The most important thing you can do right now isn't just blindly applying for jobs. Nope. It's taking a moment to really intentionally think about what you're interested in and what your goals are. That's how you find a career you love, not just a job that pays the bills. So here's our game plan for today, our launch pad. First, we're defining your career path. Then we'll get into building your professional network. After that, we'll craft your application toolkit. And finally, we'll talk about shaping your online persona. Ready? Let's jump in. Okay, first things first, and this is maybe the most important step of all. Before you can convince someone to hire you, you gotta know who you are. I mean, really know yourself. It all starts with a little bit of honest self-reflection. A really successful job search always begins with what we call a personal self-inventory. So what are your actual career goals? What are your strongest abilities, like the concrete skills you have? And what are your best attributes? Things like being a great leader or a creative problem solver. Being honest about this and about where you can improve is your secret weapon.
And here's the cool part. You don't have to just sit in a quiet room and figure this all out by yourself. There are some fantastic online tools out there, like this interest assessment from Career One Stop. It's amazing how just answering some simple questions about what you like can reveal patterns and point you toward career fields you'd actually be excited about. All right, once you've got a clearer picture of yourself and where you might be headed, it's time to connect with people who are already on that path. And look, let's just get this out of the way. When I say networking, I don't mean being all fake and schmoozy. This is about making real connections with a real purpose. Yeah, this definition right here is so important. Networking is proactive. It means you're taking the lead. And see that part about shared goals? That's huge. It's a two-way street. You're not just trying to get something from people. You're building relationships where everyone can benefit and grow together. So what's one of the absolute best, lowest pressure ways to start networking? The informational interview. You're just asking for 15 minutes of someone's time to hear their story. Now, your goal here is not to ask for a job. Let me repeat that. You are not asking for a job. You're just curious. Asking things like, what's a typical day like? Or what advice do you have for me? Gives you insights you could never get from a job description. And you know what? Chances to network are probably all around you already. Job fairs, talks on campus, professional clubs, even volunteering for a cause you care about, every single one of these is a fantastic opportunity to meet people, learn from them, and start building that professional circle. Okay, so you've done the deep thinking, you're starting to meet people. Now we gotta build the tools that are actually gonna get your foot in the door. Your resume and cover letter are your first impression, so they need to be absolutely top-notch. I absolutely love this quote because it changes how you should think about your resume. It is not just a boring list of jobs you've had. It's a story, a marketing document. Think of it like a movie trailer where you're the star and you're showing the hiring manager exactly how you can make their company better. So how do you tell that story? Well, you've basically got two main formats. The chronological one is the classic. It shows your work history from most recent to oldest. Then there's the functional resume, which puts all the focus on your skills. This is a great choice if you're switching careers or maybe have some gaps in your employment history. The key thing here is to pick the format that tells your story in the most powerful way. Okay, let's do some rapid-fire tips to make that resume pop. 1. Start your bullet points with powerful action verbs, words like launched, engineered, revitalized. 2. Put numbers on it. Don't just say you helped the team, say you increased efficiency by 20%. 3. Put your biggest wins right up top. And 4. Be ruthless. If it's not relevant to the job you want, cut it. Number 5. Ditch the cliches. Instead of saying you're a hard worker, use a bullet point that proves it. 6. Proofread, then proofread again, and then have a friend proofread it. Seriously, one tiny typo can be an absolute deal breaker. And finally, keep the design clean, simple, and easy to read. A hiring manager only looks at it for a few seconds. Okay, next up in our toolkit, the cover letter. This is your chance to connect the dots for the employer. You're explaining
why the experience on your resume makes you the perfect person for this specific job. And don't sleep on this last part. Even when they say it's optional, a great cover letter makes you stand out. It shows you're willing to do the extra work. To write a winning cover letter, remember, it's their first taste of your personality and communication style. So be clear, be confident, and get to the point. But if you remember one thing from this section, let it be this. You have to tailor it to the job. Generic, copy-pasted letters go right in the trash. You need to show you've read the job description and can meet their specific needs. All right, let's land this plane with our final section. We're talking about your online persona, which is basically your digital handshake. Trust me, in today's world, recruiters are looking you up online way before you ever walk into an interview. Okay, let's talk LinkedIn. In this day and age, a solid profile isn't just nice to have, it's non-negotiable. So let's run through a quick checklist. You need a professional photo. You should create a custom URL, it just looks cleaner. Your summary is your elevator pitch, so make it good. You can even add multimedia to show off your work. And really think about which sections you include to best highlight your unique skills. But look, just building the profile isn't enough. You gotta use it. Be strategic about asking for recommendations from professors or old bosses. Keep growing your network and let your personality shine through. Be positive. Have what's called a giver mentality. Share interesting articles. Congratulate people. Staying active keeps you visible and shows you're passionate about your field. So there you have it, the whole playbook. From self-discovery and networking all the way to crafting the perfect resume and building your online brand. You've got the tools, you've got the strategies. The only thing left to ask is the most exciting question of all. What story are you going to tell?